Welcome to the Businessmen and Women of Color podcast. I am your host, Ann Alston, and it is my pleasure once again to be here to bring quality programs to all of you. I am so excited to have another amazing motivational speaker, author here on the platform because in 2018, the BMWC is off the chain with a bunch of professionals, motivational speaker, life coaches, you name it, because this platform is on fire. So just in case you didn't know, the purpose of the BMWC podcast is to share our industry information and to encourage you, the working professional, college students, or career seekers who's looking to get into their line of work. So be sure to visit all of the pages and check out all of the participants that's going to be here on the platform this year. Also take a moment to listen to the podcast, take down some information because there's a lot of good stuff being shared here that you cannot get anywhere else on this platform. I would also like to take a moment to thank our corporate partners, Kat Serrano, LLC, Cheryl Wood Empowers, Concern and Learning, Evangelism Radio, Genesis Preferred Solutions, J Coach International, Nels Tax Help, My Financial Home, Power, STCI, and the Student Teacher, along with our other business affiliate sponsors, and everyone who is helping to make this event a success. So today, on this podcast today, we have a very special guest speaker who is also my corporate sponsor from STCI, and that is Judith Hall. Judith Hall is the founder and CEO of Life Coaching and Motivational Speaking Company, which is known as Speak, Teach, Coach, and Impact. She has been an educator for 24 years and spent the last 16 years teaching Spanish and English language in the New York City Department of Education school system. She attended Shortwood Teachers College in Jamaica, where she majored in Spanish and linguistics with a minor in literature. There she received the prestigious and coveted Marjorie Meyer Centennial Scholarship for Excellence Award, and she also received the Tuition-Based Teacher Scholarship Award from the Ministry of Education in Jamaica. So as you guys are going to continue to read her bio and all her accolades from all the different things she's doing, I would like to welcome one of our corporate sponsors, Miss Judith Hall. Hey, Judith, how you doing?
I am very well and excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for your support to keep us supporting small businesses and being part of the movement. So tell us about who you are. We know that you're from Jamaica, and how did you get into education?
Well, I come from a very long line of educators. Everyone in my family has taught at some time or other. Some didn't make it as a career choice the way I did. Some taught for a few years, but this is actually my 24th year as an educator. This would have been my 25th, but I no longer teach. I have founded my own company, and I am so excited about everything that's about to happen. You know, it has been a long road, but I finally decided for my dream. And as a result of that, here I am.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's go back and, I have to deep dive in people's history just a little bit about what made you go into education, growing up in Jamaica or other places, what was that thing that kind of just drew you towards education in general?
Well, in my book, when the sky is no limit, I talk about how my mother fostered my interest in reading from a very small age, how I would lie on the floor with her after she had done her chores for the day, and I would not be able to read the words, but there were a lot of pictures, and I picture read. And I just had this thirst for knowledge since then that I haven't even scratched, the surface of that yet, because I'm still learning and I still want to continue learning. And being a transformational speaker, I don't think of myself as just a motivational speaker. I think of myself as a transformational speaker because I effect changes in the life of the people who hear my message. I encourage them to change thoughts so they can change their outcomes and their results. And from a little girl, I always wanted to do that. I was always the one who jumped in and helped everybody to study and edited their work and read this for them and helped in any way I could because I always wanted to be part of a community that helped each other. And so I fostered that from I was like 2 years old with my mom, who, like I said, gave me the gifts of imagination and reading and books and surrounding me with all the things that meant that I could succeed in whatever, field I chose.
And so once you started getting into the educational field and going to college and things of that nature, just for the fact that people are listening to this podcast and maybe looking to get into that, what was some of the obstacles that you had to face just going to college and maybe just get, just trying to push through to get to that end goal that you was trying to get to in education? Because you have a lot of awards, you have all the degrees and everything, but I think a lot of times when people see a degree program, they think it's easy. And I love for people to share their experience on what is it going to take to get to that point in their life so that they can be an educator or they can get a degree in something.
Right. That's an awesome take on that, because a lot of people think that it is pretty easy. But I remember, I'm going to go to the social part of it first. And I remember distinctly when I wanted to go to college after high school. I was a teenage mom and I had my son right after high school. And my mom couldn't afford to send me to college. She had done the best she could. So I decided that, I wanted to go to college to better myself and the life of my son. So I had a big sister who she herself had been she was a teacher at the time. But teaching has never paid what people are worth. So I said to her, look, that lady who's working in your house, I will take her job because I know you can't afford to pay her and help me to go to school. So I will do her work. So I went to my sister's house for almost a year. I worked, I washed her clothes, and at that time, you were doing it bare knuckle. There were no washing machines. So I washed all her clothes. She had two sons and a husband. And I washed and cooked and cleaned for everybody. I never pretended that because it was my sister's house. She was doing me a favor, and, I was entitled. That's not who I am. So I earned it, and I saved all my money, and I was able to go. But on the other hand, when I got to college, that was another challenge because I never had enough money even to pay my tuition. So I cooked, I baked, I sold used books and oranges. And every semester, when everybody else went to get their grades, when I got mine, they were just stars where the grades should have been, because I had to go hustle to pay for my semester's worth of work. So that's what I did. And, it was hard work because I was working and I was doing my own entrepreneurial stuff. I was cooking and selling sometimes even when I should have been in my courses. I was just there working and trying to put my tuition together. So I did that for 2+ years. And, I enjoyed learning. I did Spanish and linguistics again and ELA, of course, at the University of West Indies. So I was very, very pumped but I never lost sight of my vision because I knew what I wanted and I just went for it. So it was difficult and rocky, but I survived.
Wow, that's fantastic. And so during that experience, is this when you wanted to really focus on language and linguistics and things of that nature? Is that how you kind of stumbled across that?
Yes, actually, I'd always loved, because my love of reading fueled anything literary. I was obsessed with words. One writer wrote that he was obsessed with words, the written word, the spoken word, and that was me. So I love poetry, I love language, I love all of the above. So I'm always excited to walk onto a campus and read and just learn what there is to be learned. I remember I was speaking to this friend of mine a few days ago. She called me to tell me that Harvard wanted somebody to teach the dialogue, or Jamaican dialect remotely. And I said, me, because I did linguistics where we talk about the nature and the characteristics of language and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people think that the Jamaican dialect does not have a grammatical structure. And that is not the case. So, it would have been, I don't know, I submitted my name as someone who's interested to do that 2 hours a week remotely. So it's something I'm excited about. I love challenges, and I'm always trying to, excel and to do better than I did the last time. So I am very excited about that too. Maybe it will come to fruition. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's going to. So let's talk about your organization. Tell us about how you came up with the concept of, how you built your business and why, what need did you see that made you really kind of want to just bring this to fruition? Because as an educator, I know that I have a lot of creativity and want to teach people a lot of stuff. But what exactly does each one of those acronyms really mean for you as for your business?
Because, oh, that's a good question. And because when I thought about naming my business, I said, what name can I choose that succinctly sums up everything that I'll be doing with this company? And I said, I speak. I've been speaking for years. I teach. I was teaching in the moment. I coach and I impact. When you've done all those things, you're going to impact somebody's life. So I chose those four words, I put them together, and I said, these succinctly sum up what it is I do. So the company, I really wanted to be part of something bigger than myself. I feel at home when I'm standing in front of people, when I'm speaking, when I'm motivating, when I'm transforming lives, because I've been through some experiences that when people hear my story, they will think, oh my God, I can't believe she went through all that. But that's the way my life has been. And nothing has ever been handed to me. I had to eke out my very, career. So I've always been somebody who feels that my truth needs to be told. And one of the best ways to do that is to become a transformational speaker. I don't even consider myself just a motivational speaker. I think I want to transform and, impact lives and transform lives. So that's why I do what I do. And it is particularly geared toward women. It's for everybody, but I feel that in a society that in some ways I feel that women are marginalized, and even in terms of what they earn, in terms of their perceived value, So I wanted to bring up ladies to say, hello, we are here. We're all in this together. If I can do it, you can do it too. Everything begins with a thought. Everything exists first as a thought before it becomes a thing. So if you're even going to design a house, I speak about this in my book as well. If you're going to design a house, the thought came to you first, and you said, you know what? In your head, or maybe one of those early mornings when you wake up and, those thoughts that you have are keeping you awake, and you say, I think I want to design a house. And then you start writing it down, you get the contractor, you do all these things. And then voila, at the end of it all, if you keep at it though, because the most important thing that I say to people who read my book and people, the people I speak with, I say, you've got to take action. Because if you don't take action, you're never going to realize your dreams. And I just find it so empowering for me to say to other women and to other people in general, reach for your dreams. They're totally attainable. Because if I did it, you can do it too.
Okay, fabulous. Now you mentioned a couple things in your book, the When the Sky is No Limit. Um, this is also part of, your speaking and your business and things of that nature. What is really the purpose of your book, and how would that help women just really know when the sky has no limit?
Okay, well, this begins with your dream and your focus on what it is you want. I speak about effecting changes in your life in 4 domains. I speak about taking care of your health, your relationships, your vocation, and your time and money freedom. Sometimes as women, we don't pay as much attention to these things as we should. And not just women, but people in general. When you talk about your health, if you're not well enough, you can't attain your dreams. And I know firsthand what that feels like because I've had to power through some situations where I have been, diagnosed with a disability. I am legally blind and I have mobility issues, stemming from vertigo and having diabetes. So I struggle with those things every day, and I'm out there saying to you, look, we've got to take control of our lives. And the question I keep asking is, are you living your best life? Are you living your best life in these domains? Are you enjoying a job that you have? Do you want to change it? Why aren't you changing it? What are your obstacles? Don't get harnessed and bogged down by your limiting self beliefs and by the negative paradigms that keep repeating themselves over and over and over again. What about, maybe you are earning enough money, but do you have time? Are you spending enough time with your family? I talk about relationships in terms of three kinds of relationships and love. There is the agape love, which is characterized by the spirituality that someone, is affiliated with. It is family love. Is it filial love? Is it eros love? Are you longing for the kind of relationship? Or do you need to find a partner? What are you looking for? And, how do you know? How do you measure what you want against what you have now and what kind of solutions you need to get to? So I talk about all those things, and at the end of it all, I talk about a fifth one, that is not really part of the four domains, but it's an offshoot, because after you have self-actualized, you have set your goals and you have attained the things you want, then you got to think about philanthropy. You got to think about giving back. That is also important, because after you've gone through the door, you need to reach back and pull somebody through that door as well. So that is basically what my book is about. And then in the end, I write some beautiful poems. I didn't write the poems. I included some beautiful poems from a gentleman called Ormin Thompson, who he's a Jamaican poet. He lives in Florida, I think. But I bought his book, The Door, and I was mesmerized. He was so great that I asked him, can I include some of the motivational poems you have for my book? And he was gracious enough to say yes. And then I put some songs that that lift me up, because sometimes we each need lifting up. And my job, I think, is to raise up other women, so that they can be all that they can be.
Fabulous, fabulous. I've read your book and I do love the
Oh,
poems. I do love the poems, I have to say. I love the poems. Some of the songs I kind of recognize, but I want people who's listening to this podcast to just really hear that there are so many of us who is out there doing motivation for women. And, I want to just get your perception on this too, Judah, because I've asked some other speakers as well. Why do you think that there is such a push for women's empowerment, for women who have that thing that's able to overcome to help other women? Because a lot of times we have all this stuff, but we don't always know the reason. We don't always know the
right.
why, and I want to
Right.
get your why. What is your why? You spoke a
My,
little bit about it in earlier, but just really deep dive into why women have this problem with, feeling empowered and overcoming obstacles.
I think this is a cultural thing, worldwide phenomenon. It's not just limited to one country or a third world nation, because here in America, I said before that women don't earn as much. They earn 75 cents or 76 cents for every dollar that a man earns. You look around in the halls of government, you don't see enough women. We're underrepresented. You look in the music, and women are being over sexualized, and the music is full of so much misogyny, and a lot of women there are not feeling their worth. So I think it is time that those of us who are stronger should lift other women up, so that they can feel empowered too, because
Mhm.
a woman is equally qualified. She's as smart, maybe more so than a lot of other people, but we just need to recognize the strength in other women and to keep pushing, because we know that even though we don't get credit for it, we're the backbone of this nation. Even
Oh
when those
yeah.
men went to war, World
Mhm.
Wars One and Two, it was
Mhm.
the women that stayed behind and worked in the factories and took care of the kids by themselves. And even now, such a great country, we still don't have the kind of child care and paid leave to take care of your kids. And in the annals of power, men sit and make these decisions for women. And had it not been for a woman, they wouldn't be here. So I wonder how it is we just can't get our due. So we as women have got to push, 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 and help our sisters to stand in their own power.
That's right. Standing on power. I totally, totally agree. So, are you involved in any activities right now that you are speaking with, or have any events that you would like people to come and check out just so that they can get a real sense of what SCTI really means?
Right. Okay, so for the 24th of March, I'm finalizing some arrangements for a 4-hour retreat for ladies. I mean, it's open to men as well, but my emphasis is on the ladies. It will be Mount Vernon, where I'll be talking about how to improve your life in the 4 domains I just mentioned. And it includes lunch, it includes snacks and conference materials, and I'm refining it right now. And but the date is fixed. It's the 24th. It's going to be in Mount Vernon. I will be sending out flyers, and people can just come and feel empowered that day. And we do some activities and some bonding activities and all kinds of stuff we'll be involved with, and building your dreams and blueprinting your dream and figuring out what you want, working on your vision board, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
So that's
Are
what
you
I'll be
doing
doing.
any other events after May when this broadcast? Because I know that you're having that, but are you having any other events that are sort of
I
like between
absolutely
May
have
and stuff?
another event after May. On the 30th of June, I
Okay.
will be having an event again in Mount Vernon, where this is designed to help some folks back in Jamaica, UJP, Unite Jamaica People. They're trying to re-socialize the country because a lot of stuff, crime and violence is just taking over the world. I don't know what is happening. But for a country that small, it shouldn't be happening like that. So they're re-socializing because they have the slogan that guns don't kill people, it's the mind behind the guns. So they have this hashtag going, get the minds, hashtag re-socialize Jamaica, and they've started by going into the communities, the depressed communities, and empowering those people, talking to the street people, getting them off the street, putting back a few hundred of them to work at a time, because everybody assumes that everyone on the street is mentally, disturbed just because they're on the street. Some people are just homeless. So something of that magnitude,
Mhm.
it resonates in my spirit, and I need to be a part of it. I
Wow.
also, for the event I mentioned for the 24th of March, there's
Mhm.
also the breast factor, where this other gentleman I know is talking about women's, Paul O'Beal. He's talking about women's health and how to check their breast health and how to recognize the signs, even if it could be cancerous or benign, but if you're not feeling well, how to check yourself and how to make sure you're maintaining good breast health. So he's doing a crowdfunding to do that too. So I wanted to, donate something over there as well, even though it is,
Wow.
my event. But we gotta pull each other up. It's a
You got to
community
pull each
event,
other up. Well, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely, you have
yeah,
my support on that. So, what do
right.
you? So, let me ask you this one question before we get into, giving your social media and everything. What do you need for SCTI to thrive? What do you need as a small business yourself to thrive?
What do I need?
Mhm.
The truth of the matter is, I want to go back a little bit and talk about how I've been doing this for so many years.
Okay.
I've been doing this for about 25 years, but I just never formalized it until last year. I studied at the Life Master Institute in California with Mary Morrissey, and that was an enlightening piece for me because everything that I thought I needed, she gave to me. There's a first chapter in my book when I'm asking, I need, what is it I need? There is a thing in my spirit that is craving for more to do and ask for more and to enjoy life more and to do. But how do I go about this? And it was when I was looking through the paper, I was on the internet, and what she was saying resonated in my soul, and I said, yes, this is it. So for STCI, I want to work with everyone, with business entrepreneurs. I want to work with women, whether you're a mother or whether you're a business owner. I just want to empower us and to make sure that this message has a ripple effect when I start. And then I want us to have organizations that are offshoots of that mentor young ladies so that we can hang on to our young ladies and make sure that they have a better time growing up even than we had. So I just want it to be very resonant and to spread all over the place, and everybody can have a decent lifestyle and have abundance. And I'm not talking about wealth only as the only manifestation of abundance. I want people to have abundance in their life. I want them to be happy in their family circles. I want them to find that kind of spiritual connection that they're looking for. I want them to have the kind of jobs that they want, because you can manifest what it is you want. When your spirit and your soul is in alignment with your purpose, then definitely you are going to make manifest that destiny that is yours and yours alone. So that is what STCI is seeking to do, to, harness that energy within people, and even the things that they don't know that they can do. Because people sometimes, and that's what coaching does, the coaching aspect of my company. So when people don't know what it is they want to do, you as the coach use evocative coaching to help them figure it out. You don't tell them what it is. You ask questions, and they say, you know what is it you want? What do you love? And I
Mm-hmm.
don't like this job I'm in. I absolutely hate it. And I will say, yes, I hear you saying you're hating it. But
Right.
what do you love? If
Mm-hmm.
money were not an object,
Right.
and you had the opportunity to be, do, create anything you
Mm-hmm.
wanted, what is it you would love? Oh, I always wanted to have a little restaurant for myself, a little coffee shop, a little something where people can come in and read and sit, and I speak with them and whatever. And the answer resides within them. There is greatness in them, but they have settled for so long that sometimes they don't know how to get off that treadmill.
That
It's
too,
like the
or
hamster on the
sometimes
treadmill.
they, yeah, or sometimes they just don't really know. I mean, they
They don't
guess, and
know.
they really don't know. But see, that's what the great thing about, education and things like we're doing, podcasts and interviews and events and networking, because you get to broaden your horizons, of what you
Absolutely.
can do. But a lot of times in our community, we don't do that, and so this is an uphill battle. My motto last year and this year is break the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Break your barrier to keep you from progressing, because we all have
Yes.
barriers. We all have times we just run up against that wall. But like you're saying, we have to have that passion. What do you love to do? And figure out if it is something that you're thinking, is it something that you can do? But I
Yes.
really applaud the fact that, you, like many other women who I've spoken with so far, just really want to reach back and pull other women forward. And for those women who are not yet ready to be pulled forward, we're still here.
Because they are here
We're
right now.
supported. We're still here.
Yes.
So yeah, so I really appreciate, the book. I really appreciate all that you're doing to keep us above the fray, because this is a battle that is not going to be won overnight. This is something that
No.
we have to continue to keep pushing, pushing, pushing until we actually have real true equality in terms
Right.
of jobs and money and space and things of that nature, and opportunities as entrepreneurs.
Talking about another event I was having on the 30th of June.
Yes.
It is a fundraiser. I never said it's going to be in Mount Vernon too, but a different address. So I'll be
Okay.
sending out flyers about that. It's going to be in Mount
Mhm.
Vernon, New York, and it's all about. It's a fundraiser. It's my event as well, but part proceeds will be to a couple charities of my choice. So
Mhm.
that again is going to be very. I'll get a chance to speak. It's going to start off with speaking. We'll include food, and then there's a party after that. So,
Nice.
and if I think I might want to throw out to one or two people to come, and they could bring their books and sell it at events as well, and to do that kind of stuff. So
That
that's
sounds
what I'm
fabulous.
about.
Well,
Mhm.
definitely send me that flyer when you have it, and I will post it here on your website. So, everybody,
Mhm.
you're listening to this podcast. You're listening to Judith Hall. She is the founder of SCTI and is a corporate sponsor, and really is looking out for women out here today. So, if you're interested in tapping into her and getting her resources, or having her come out and speak at your event, please reach out. Her information is going to be listed here on this page. Also, also take a moment to go to all the other pages and listen to the podcast and really share this information to people who you know, your families and friends, so that we can spread the information about our industry, our talents, and what we do. So I want to thank you, Judith, for being on the podcast today, supporting the BMWOC and being part of the movement.
Thank you so much for having me.